Hello, my love. My name is Katie Nicholson, and today I'm going to share with you 3 of my favourite therapeutic Tantra yoga practices for pelvic girdle pain. Now, this is a pain that can happen typically in later pregnancy when there's a lot of baby in the womb and there's a little bit more weight being carried by the pelvis than it might be used to. So this can happen just from walking, when we're swinging our weight from side to side a little bit, if we're sort of standing and popping our hip out to one side or the other, or even when we're getting up and down from the ground and we're sort of taking big lunges and we're putting a lot of pressure onto either side. So I'm going to share with you one practice just to simply get up and down from the floor with both the weight distributed evenly on both sides. And this is going to be really helpful during labor as well, so you can move intuitively between different positions that are feeling helpful. And then I'll share with you a mermaid pose practice that's really good for strengthening the sacroiliac. So it's going to allow for a little bit of strength to be built in the muscles on either side, as well as getting a little bit of flow and juiciness moving through any tension. And finally, I'll share with you a little bit of tantric breathing that's just going to allow some space to be created for any tension that you might be feeling, and to just give that an opportunity to be expressed, which is also a really helpful practice for birth too. So, learning lots of things here. So let's start with getting up and down from the ground. So this is pretty simple, but also golden as a thing to be aware of. So we're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, place the hands on the thighs as we're bending the knees really generously. We're sliding the hands down the legs onto the floor, walking them out in front. And the crucial moment is when we put the knees down at the same time. And then from here we can come into a multitude of positions. Then getting back up, we'll tuck the toes under, walk the hands back until we can take the pressure into the hands a little and lift both of the knees off at the same time, rocking the weight onto our feet and our legs as support. And then we're going to continue to walk the hands back towards the feet, walking the hands up, rolling up, stacking the spine one vertebrae at a time and coming to stand. So let's try coming down to the ground one more time. Tucking the chin in, rolling down, walking the hands down the legs and in front of you, bringing the knees onto the ground at the same time. Then we'll swing the toes round to one side and come into mermaid position. The mermaid position. So we'll tuck the back toes under, not having the toes out to the side. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can sit up onto a cushion or as many as you need to lift your hips up a little. And then from here, we're going to bring a little bit of movement, just rocking the pelvis back and forth. And if you're in some pain here, just making the movement really small. If it feels available, smiling into the pelvis, creating a sense of ease. Maybe inhaling as you rock the pelvis back and exhaling as you tuck the pelvis under. And this movement might feel a little bit juddery. So if you're feeling that sense of smoothness coming through slowly but surely, just keep going. And once we get a little bit of juiciness flowing in the pelvis, my teacher Uma says, you've done it enough when you start to feel some saliva in the mouth, because we're getting all the juices and the waters in the body flowing, especially working with Swadhisthana chakra, where the womb is the special place of the self, as this energy center is all associated with our waters. So from here, we'll move into the second part of this practice, and if you want to keep rocking, you can pause the video. We'll place the hand of our back leg on the hip and the hand of the front leg just slightly behind to support. And then as we exhale, we're going to press into the top of the back foot and into the top of the shin on the back foot, on the back leg. And then as we inhale, we're returning to center. So exhale, pressing down into the earth. Inhale, returning to center. And we can feel the strength building in the glutes to all these muscles as we exhale, pressing down into the earth, feeling Mama Earth meeting our power. And you can do as many here as feels comfortable and as feels strengthening and nourishing to your body. Or maybe after your next exhale, just doing one more. And returning to center. We'll walk the hands in front and just swing the toes round to the other side. Taking your time here, you might need to readjust your cushion, making sure to tuck the back toes under, because if they're out to the side, it's not very good for the knee. And then the sole of the front foot is pressing towards the thigh. Relaxing the hands wherever is comfortable here, maybe on the hips. And again, as you inhale, you're gently rocking back, and as you exhale, rocking forwards. Just seeing what feels good and supportive for your body. Maybe breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you feel that smoothness coming into the hips, maybe even if it's just 1% smoother, and you might feel a little bit of saliva in the mouth, we'll move into part 2, where we're placing the hand of the front leg just behind to support. And then as we exhale, we're pressing into the earth and just noticing how that lifts the glute off the ground. So it's really key here that we're not going into a full twist. That's not really what we want to be doing, especially in pregnancy yoga. So any twisting of the upper body is really light, and that's not the focus at all. It's all about what's going on in this glutes, this bottom part of the body that's gaining the strength as it lifts up. Exhaling, pressing into the earth, feeling that power being met. Inhale, returning to the center, returning to the heart. Let's do about 3 more of these, or as many more as you like. You can always pause the video. Very nice. Now coming into any comfortable seated position. So I'm going to come forward onto my hands, bring my toes together, and then sit back. I can have a cushion underneath, in between my thighs and my calves. I can even roll up a blanket and put it underneath my ankles to make that more comfortable here as well. Or just any position. You can lie down if you want to, you can lie on your side, you can stand. And we're just going to do a little bit of breathing and expressing. So just getting a sense of where any tension might be in the body. You can even place your nourishing hands to hold and warmth. Anything that needs a little bit of love. And we're just going to take a few breaths as we inhale, breathing into the center of any tension, creating space around it with the breath if that feels possible. Feeling the prana, the life force flowing in. Just breathing at your own pace here. And with each exhale, we'll see if we can express from the center of the tension. So we're not trying to force anything here, we're just giving the tension an opportunity to be welcomed and vibrated through the body with a sigh, or maybe even a sound. As you inhale, smiling into the center of the tension, welcoming it. And as you exhale, allowing it to be expressed. This is a really helpful practice for birth as well. We'll do about 3 more breaths, but again, you can always pause the video and do as many as you like. Maybe offering the tension to the earth, allowing it to be received and recycled. And when you feel complete with your breathing, you can place one hand on your heart, one hand over your womb. And just take a few moments to find some gratitude to yourself for taking the time to look after your body, to nourish yourself. And this practice is now complete. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next time.